rocpodcasts.com.
Eric Radio.
I used to think the brain was the most important organ. Then I thought, look where I'm getting that information from.
Well, here they come again. They heard that things were happening. With mics in front of faces, their lips begin to flapping. They talk about world and local news reports, and even Steph Michaels, cause she's a doggy whore. Corey says, man, it's a goddamn joke. Corruption is abundant and the POTUS is a hoax. Stacy says,
Man, I'd like to act, but Americans are lazier than most, that's fact.
so go get a bowl, a spoon, and some cereal, and sit your ass down. It's time for Air Rec Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and thank you for choosing Air Rec Radio. We'd like to apologize in advance if there's any inconvenience caused, but we're going down.
It is the 24th day in February in the year 2014. I am Corey,
And I'm a bad mother. Watch your mouth.
and this is episode 42
Whoa.
of Air Rec Radio.
Whoa. It's episode 42 on the 24th.
Yeah, whoa.
Whoa. That shit's palindromic, dude.
Yeah, it's spooky. There must be
That's like race car. No,
There's-
that's not like race car. It's like Taco Cat.
race cars.
Is it race car?
Yeah, race car.
All right, it's also like race car.
Must be a very special episode of Air Rec Radio.
Yeah, it's the same frontwards to backwards. Thank you and good night. I don't think that's true.
I was totally willing to cut it there. I was reaching for the stop button.
Nope. Unfortunately, folks, there's more to come.
As usual, we are coming to you from the Hideaway Brewery Studios. A fake radio doing fake reads for real beer.
I think that we should stop calling it the Hideaway Brewery and just start calling it the studio at the Hideaway, because there has
can do that.
not been any brewing going on
Well,
here.
that's not my fucking problem.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, it's a little disingenuous to continue to call it a brewery.
It's also a little disingenuous to call us a podcast, but we're doing it anyway.
It's more like a consumptuary.
This is where beer goes to be drank.
Yes, this is where beer gets turned into pee.
And all the forestry around the house can attest for that.
Yeah, it's lush and vibrant. Yesterday I
With
saw my
urea.
lawn, and today it's all gone. And that makes me
what's a lawn?
sad. The lawn is that green thing that's under all this white bullshit. Remember it? It's lush and grassy and cozy and
Oh, grass.
Yeah.
Like what the hippies used to smoke.
yeah, no, not that kind of grass,
No?
man. No, man.
No.
The kind
Dolphins?
of dolphins smoke.
I'm glad that we both went there.
Nah, man, yesterday was beautiful. I took the dog for a walk. That shit sucked, though, because, the trail was not beautiful. It was lumpy and snowy and
And
icy.
muddy
And no, it was snow-covered still, so it was all, top-coated with ice and uneven. We did not go for a very long walk.
All right, boy, we're going back.
Yep.
Will you carry me?
He's a little dog. Yeah. I just threw a saddle on him and made him carry me.
He's a little dog. The mud rivets were bigger than his arms. Or the ice rivets were bigger than his arms.
Oh, he was fine. He's got 4 legs and shit. Me, on the other hand, I had 2 big-ass flipper feet.
Bipedal.
And sneakers. I was expecting the snow to be a little more melted on the trail than it was.
It was right in that terrible range where it's half melted and it turns into ice, and it's like 40 degrees and it's solid ice, and you
Yeah.
can't figure it out.
Yeah, and you can't walk on it.
My driveway was like that, the gravel driveway.
Yeah.
Because you can't plow down to those stones. You got to lift the blade.
Yeah, no, you pull the stones.
So you lift the blade a half an inch, and you just leave, an inch.
This
of
is
snow.
your plowing 101 tip, folks. Pay
Yes.
attention.
What am I stealing from Jay? Unsolicited advice.
Yeah, there you go.
But because of that, it packs down and becomes, when it gets into this melting stage, it just turns to straight ice the whole driveway.
Yeah.
So much fun on bald tires.
Look out, garage door. Here I come. So, like any good American, on a nice sunny day, I stayed in and watched TV for most of the day. It was the end of the Olympics. I guess it was the end of the Olympics yesterday, correct? Is that right? Did they end yesterday? No,
I know they're over.
Okay, then yes. Yesterday, yesterday they ended, and they went out with a roar. You didn't watch any of it?
No.
Corey, you missed some very, very dull cross country skiing.
I watched some sporting activities, but as far as the ceremony of the event,
I don't. It's not the halftime show. I'm not.
That's good for you.
Yeah.
I watched a couple hockey games, a couple of the figure skating events, a couple of the less popular sports, just a handful.
I watched some golf on the other channel that was in the desert.
Oh, okay.
It was sunny and deserty, and god damn it, did it look nice. I want to know what they I don't know what golf course it was, but I want to know what they pay to keep that green in the desert.
The blood.
Yeah,
They watered,
no doubt.
They watered in the blood of virgins.
Expensive.
With the Olympics, I feel the need to watch it because I support what it stands for. So I feel the need to at least check out a couple things. But I don't feel the need to go out of my way to watch sports that I don't give a crap about the other 4 years.
I always, I sit down and I watch the obscure sports and I think to myself, I don't give a shit about this sport. Why am I watching this? But then, for the faster moving ones, I always get locked in. I'm like, wow, these guys are they didn't hobby their way into the Olympics. These guys are really good at bobsled. What a weird thing to get good at,
What a weird sensation to have, man. You trained your whole life to be good at this kind of obscure sport, and then you lost by 0.2 of a second.
Thought we bronzed.
No, I'm just not us necessarily.
Right.
Anybody in that situation. You train your whole life to be good at this weird, obscure sport, and then you lose bronze by 0.2 of a second.
Yeah. Well, there's always it's like every 2 years now. So
No.
every 4 years.
The winter games
alternate.
are every 4 years, and so are the summer games, but they alternate.
They alternate now. Yeah. Well,
So that you get it more
it's only
often.
4 more years, and then you get to bobsled in the Olympics again, and
And that'll be your last time to try.
a couple of days, the whole world will give a little bit of a shit about the sport you do.
It's like it's the most popular sport in the Winter Olympics. Like outside of the Winter Olympics, has got to be hockey.
Oh God, yeah.
It's got to be hockey.
Even at the Olympics, it's like that's the sport for the winter. It's like football in the
and
the
I
summer.
managed to watch 2 hockey games because in the off season or the non-Olympic season, I don't really. Not that I don't care about hockey, I just don't follow it.
I don't think you need to be ashamed of that.
No, I don't want to say like it's a shit game because clearly it's a cool game.
No, hockey's a fun fucking game,
I
but
just
I can't
don't
get into
follow
that
it.
shit. No, I'm with you. I would love to get into hockey, but it's like baseball. There's too many games. I
There's a
can't
lot-
keep track. It's not on Sundays. I don't know what's going on, man.
it's all during the week.
It's
and
not
shit.
on like regular TV or internet streaming, which is bullshit.
It's hard to find. They strike half the time and ruin it for themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't find it.
I don't think they strike exactly half the time. I think that might be an exaggeration.
I don't find the need to watch much more than 2 games. Just because it's the Olympics, I'll support the 2 games. You know what I mean? I watched the
U.S.-Canada men's game?
not the gold medal game, the semi,
Oh, all right.
and the gold medal game I was at work for.
The fucking gold medal game was terrible. No, I'm sorry. It was the bronze medal game with Finland. The U.S. did not show up at all. It was like 5-0. What are you looking for? You look lost.
I was just looking for something. Don't worry about it.
All
Just
right.
keep going.
Well, I was just concerned about your well-being there, Corey.
Well, you fucking should be.
So, while watching all this TV, I saw a commercial. It's ingenious what you've just done there. I saw a commercial that like really steamed my clam, and I thought that I would like to share it.
Is that what we're doing?
With the podcasting world. Would you like to share the commercial?
During the Dodge President's Day event, we celebrate Theodore Roosevelt and his Rough Riders' victory at San Juan Hill. To us, that's just more proof that you don't bet against American muscle, especially when it looks like this. In the face of this much power, who wouldn't surrender? Celebrate great deals at the Dodge President's Day event. Get $2,500 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months on the 2013 Dodge Dart.
Okay, so here's my problem with this commercial. One of them. There's many. Dodge has really been laying it on thick with this patriotism, which is like, I like patriotism. I do. But Dodge, you took a lot of money from the taxpayer to not go belly up because you were making shit cars. Not because you were making fancy American muscle, because you were making
shit
garbage.
Cars.
The garbagest of cars. You ever see a Neon with the paint still on the hood? Nope.
Or trunk.
Or a Saturn, or a Stratus for that matter, with the paint still on it? Nope. You made garbage cars, Dodge, and I understand that like your truck division is still doing good, and I like Jeep a whole lot. But you made garbage cars for a long time, and that's why you went belly up and needed a huge giant bailout that
But we're imported from Detroit.
Yeah, imported from Detroit. Oh, by the way, Detroit is bankrupt as shit.
About Detroit.
Like, good job, Dodge. You instead of what we should have done? We probably should have bailed out Detroit.
Maybe that would have been
instead of Dodge. I'm just saying. My other problem with this is more of a theological problem, I think, than this. So Theodore Roosevelt, great American president. We got all kinds of great stories about him. He's one of those figureheads that's just storyful. And the Rough Riders had a lot of good stories about them too, but they fought in a war, the Spanish-American War, that was completely drummed up using yellow journalism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the political machine got us into a war in, like, 1898, as a matter of fact.
And apparently, just so modern-day corporations can use American-like propaganda to sell you shit you didn't need.
We wanted Cuba as a state, actually, is what the political
that
machine
wasn't
drummed
the
up.
whole
No,
reason?
it wasn't so that in the future...
Lots of people didn't die so that Dodge could make a commercial in 2014.
But that's a good point, too. Jeez, Dodge, go to hell, Dodge.
You're assholes.
This commercial made me so angry. At just like on a route, like it's like that time that I saw that bumper sticker on that guy's truck, and it said, "If this flag doesn't offend you, or I'm sorry, if this flag offends you, I'll help you pack." Well, dog, that's kind of a broad statement because, like, if you can't see how somebody might be offended by the actions of this great nation, you're probably not paying attention.
Do you know when that image offends me? Every time I see a politician on the fucking TV lying through his fat flapping gums
or
with an American flag pin on his lapel.
Yeah.
That's when it upsets me. That's when it disgusts me.
Don't get behind a podium without one of those pins on. Don't do it, man.
Not allowed. You need two pins. You need your party pin and you need the flag pin.
Funny story, funny coincidence. The Spanish-American War that the Rough Riders fought in started by yellow journalism at the hands of William Randolph Hearst, the same guy who pushed the legislation to make marijuana illegal because hemp threatened the paper industry.
Okay. Well, now that's a fun fact because I didn't know that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. So the guy who used false information to pass a law that affected, I don't know, the last 100 and how long?
100 and, I don't
20
know.
years?
1890s.
Whatever.
So you do the math, folks at home. We can't
whatever.
do math and ramble needlessly into microphones. What are we, calculators?
Also managed to help jumpstart a needless war through false reporting and American propaganda.
Not just him. Guess who else?
Who else?
Joseph Pulitzer. You'll never guess what he's famous for.
Oh, I wish I had some kind of. I'm glad you brought me this information. And if you keep bringing me good information, I might bring you. I might give you some kind of prize.
It's an award
for
outstanding achievements in journalism.
Journalism.
The Pulitzer Prize.
I'm confused. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm the wrong. Could you define journalism? Because the way I thought it was, that it was detailed investigation of the facts and then a public reporting of thus.
Yeah, it can be that.
That's what I kind of thought.
It can also be fiction, apparently.
Apparently, it can be a complete fucking lie.
You might be looking at,
Stories.
Corey, we might be looking at this through too narrow a field. I mean, look at all the great things that have come from having hemp made illegal. Just look at how well the prison culture is doing.
Exactly. Look at all the money this private prison owners are making.
And thanks to Theodore Roosevelt and the Rough Riders, Dodge is importing Detroit's finest piece of shit automobile.
Importing Detroit automobiles, exporting jobs. Thank you for buying from Dodge.
Yeah. Built in Toronto by Mexicans.
Buy more trucks because there's blood spilled to buy this shitty truck.
Wait, now we're talking about a different company. And I don't want to talk about that company.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that company.
Look at lost.
No, we can beat up Dodge. Let's beat up Dodge. That's fine. Nobody works for Dodge.
Did I say something?
You were telling the story of a different car company. one that didn't take a bailout, but did take grants. Which, grants are great, but they didn't use them for exactly what they were supposed to.
Man, is it time for a vacation?
But hey, whatever. That's business sometimes, I guess. And if it's the company that I work for, well, that's business.
Okay, just the price of doing business, right?
True story.
True story.
You want another true story?
True story, bro.
Corey, do you
How
know...
was my first day at work? Fuck you.
I wasn't going to ask you. I was definitely not going to do that on the show. Do you know where the term "when it rains, it pours" comes from?
You've been dying to tell me. No, I don't.
If I'm moving too fast through the subjects, you slow me down, man. It's all right. But I have been dying for this one.
I thought you had more on the Dodge thing, but we're done with that. We're rolling on to the next thing.
Oh, man, no. We powered through the Dodge thing and the Spanish-American War. We are talking current events from the past today.
Oh, yeah. And you've been trying to tell me this for like 2 weeks.
This one's about the Industrial Revolution.
I think you learned this last Tuesday.
Yeah, see you last Tuesday. That's cult.
Stop telling them what we're trying to do. Thank you for listening, Wreckheads. Where does the term "when it rains, it pours" come from, Stace? Fun facts.
The Morris Salt Company. The blue cylinder with the little girl in the yellow dress, and she's got an umbrella and a bag of salt.
Oh, okay.
The corporate imaging that I'm talking about here?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm more of a Morton's guy, but
Morton's, that's what it is. I'm sorry. It's Morton's.
That's what I thought. But
Morris makes tobacco.
Yeah,
Philip
Morris.
Yeah.
Morton.
Well, now I've learned something. In 1911, the Morton Salt Company changed the way salt was packaged using that cylinder and the spout, and they used to package it in bags.
Okay.
So when you'd
Like
go and
flour
get it,
or
you'd get it
sugar.
scooped into a bag, and then you'd carry that bag home, and it would clump. The salt would clump together.
Okay, from the
but
moisture
the
in the bag.
cylinder was both watertight, moisture-tight, and the salt had a special additive in it to help it not clump. So their new slogan was, "When it rains, it pours."
Even if it rains,
Meaning
the
when
salt
it's rainy
still
out,
pours.
the salt will pour from the cylinder.
Still pour with the special spout that you rip out the second time you pull it open, and
Yeah.
it flops open all the way.
Suddenly you're a tinsmith.
How do I get this thing back in here?
I bet you never would have guessed that's where that came from.
I
had
never
no
in a
idea.
million years, and I'm pretty sure she has an umbrella in her hand.
She has only changed 4 times. She does have an umbrella in her hand.
Because when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Because when it's humid or whatever, the salt still pours. It's not like the other salts that clump.
Rec Radio. Fun facts, fun facts.
Yeah, you heard it here first. But if you didn't hear it here first, you heard it somewhere else. You heard it on Cracked.
Stop listening to the same podcast we listen to.
Yeah, knock it off. You're looking behind the mirror. No, I think it's a curtain, actually, that you look behind.
Yeah, they pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That's correct.
Yes. But there is no fourth wall in podcasting.
Nope, no walls at all.
There you go.
This is the medium without walls. So Facebook bought...
The Book of Face.
Yeah, the Book of Faces bought a company called WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I don't know what it... I've heard it. I've now heard the story twice, and I have no idea what apps is.
I really want to do the up
What's
dog
app?
thing. Will you play along with me so I can get this out of my system? Hey, Corey, up dog.
What's up, dog?
Nothing, dog. What's up with you? You're supposed to say up dog. What's up, dog?
Up, dog?
Like up dog.
What's up,
What's
dog?
up, dog?
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Like
didn't
what
play
is
along.
up dog? Like
I didn't get it. Do you want to start over?
no, fuck it.
All right,
Moving
move
right
on.
along. Facebook buys WhatsApp for $19 billion.
Man, was that fun. 19 what?
billion. Bazillion.
Might as well be.
$19 bazillion.
Wow. Holy shit, Shaggy.
That's $19,000 million is what that is.
That is approximately $19 billion more than I have.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Give or take minus like $15.
Right. To answer your question about what is WhatsApp, it's a cross-platform mobile messaging app for iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, Windows Phone, and Nokia.
Oh, the competition.
It's Nokia they don't have an
Huh?
Android phone? I don't know.
Oh, no, Nokia is Windows phones.
Whatever, but it says and Nokia.
I wonder if they have their own messenger service.
I don't know. Oh, the beep beep,
Because, like,
the push to talk, do they still do that?
that's Nextel.
Listeners, oh shit, you're right. Okay, well then never mind.
That was Sprint, which is gone now, or Nextel, which is Sprint.
Whatever. They do text messaging. So if you've ever tried to use the Facebook Messenger app for your text messages, because
And
Facebook,
you're still alive? You haven't killed yourself yet?
Facebook tries to make you make your phone's text messaging thing run through Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And that shit sucks.
Uh-huh.
Sucks. Mad hard to change back. Friends, if Facebook ever tries to get you to do anything automatically, the answer is no.
Yeah, no.
Unless Facebook ever automatically tries to make you like Air Rec Radio, then the answer is yes.
I can make that happen.
Obviously. $19 billion
Billion.
to buy a messaging service.
Cha-cha-cha-chia.
Today, 3 hours ago, according to Reuters, WhatsApp will add free voice call services for its 450 million customers later this year. This is after the Facebook acquisition. This was announced. So I can kind of see where Facebook's going with this one. You're going to have Facebook phones soon.
Oh, yeah, I'll believe that.
I think that's probably coming.
I'd believe that.
$19 billion.
Do they already own an email service? I mean, their messenger service works like an email service.
And it works very well.
But do they have
too.
an actual email service?
No, you can't get like a CPAN run at
Facebook.
Facemail or Facebook.mail.com or whatever.
If you watch that happen, then you know
Yeah.
that they're going for a phone.
Here comes the phone.
Yeah.
So here's...
Because you got to have email. Business email. You
Yeah.
got to have email addresses.
Oh, yeah.
Business email. So in order to make phones, you got to have that available to them.
And then you got to have that. But they'll never get a monopoly on emails.
And then you won't be able to download Twitter app.
They'll never be able to get a monopoly on emails because
No, they just have to have an
you'll
email
never
service.
have your public Facebook email attached to all the things you need an email address for. No fucking way. Nope.
No. No, what they'll do is they'll just buy out like mail.com or something and pump a bunch of money into it and call it Facebook Mail.
They should buy out AOL. It's probably too late. Comcast got bought. Or bought Time Warner. No,
Comcast
got bought.
I saw the second guy in like a week that used an AOL email address.
Really?
And I was like, dog.
Yeah. Homie, you don't have to pay per minute anymore, man. He's using dial-up.
Like, you ain't even got a Hotmail? Like, where you been? Sorry, it's just 1992. I mean, I had a guy give me his email address. He wrote it down on a piece of paper and handed it to me.
Fucking caveman.
It was an AOL email address.
AOL email. So easy, cavemen still do it.
I was floored. I was like, you are a dinosaur.
Yeah. Serious, dog.
Are you running?
You know they're free, right? You can get a new one. How much spam does this poor guy have to go through in his antique-ass AOL email?
30-year-old
God. You have 17 quadrillion emails to check.
You check the first 10, and you move on.
What a pain in the dick.
He checks them on his Windows 98 SE machine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he still hasn't upgraded. He's running 3.1.
Hold on, let me pull start my modem. So $19 billion is a lot of money, and so much money that the Chive took note and did a nice little list of things that are cheaper than this purchase.
All right, cheaper than WhatsApp.
Than the purchase of WhatsApp by Facebook.
Oh,
Iceland has a GDP of $14 billion, which is, that's $5 billion less.
Do you think Facebook looked into buying a country before they did this?
They
just to see.
What are you going to get in Iceland?
But you want Facebookland. I mean,
that's true. The Hubble Space Telescope, $10 billion. Oh, by the way, the Hubble Space Telescope I think it's visible.
Really?
Yeah, I was showing Kiana earlier where the supernova is, and I noticed that Hubble was also either Hubble or a star that correlated in the same position and wasn't on my phone app, the Google Sky Map. Terrific app. If you have any kind of smartphone, you can get the Google Sky Map, I hope. Get it, look at the sky, learn some shit. So I was showing her where some shit was, and Hubble is apparently visible, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
The supernova galaxy is visible, although the supernova is not a naked eye thing, especially not now. It's past its brightest.
Yeah.
Jupiter was up tonight. It was a good night for stargazing.
Yeah.
You could fund NASA for a year for less than $19 billion.
Oh. That hurts me in the no-no.
You could host the London Olympics and still have $8.6 billion left.
Or 4 Sochi Olympics.
Or 4 Sochi Olympics. You could purchase American Airlines for $11 billion.
I want to buy SpaceX. It's probably way cheaper than
What's SpaceX? Is that the Virgin Mobile thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The gross profit from the following movies: Avatar, Titanic, The Avengers, the last Harry Potter movie.
Oh, I would hope. I don't want to hear about movies.
Iron Man 2, Transformer, Lord of the Rings, Skyfall, Batman, the last Batman movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, Toy Story 3, another Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Jurassic Park, and Star Wars Episode 1. All of those movies combined grossed grossed $8.7 billion. I'm sorry, $18.7 billion, which is still less than what Facebook paid for WhatsApp. You could pay for driver education courses for every licensed driver in America for $17 billion. The 50 most expensive paintings in the world, $5 billion. So you could buy American Airlines and all those paintings.
Put one in each plane and just fly the fuck around for a while.
The entire French railway fleet, $4.2 billion.
I want to buy me some choo-choo.
You're going to like this one.
How many fighter How many fighter planes can I buy for $19 billion?
Probably 2 or 3, I should think.
I want F-18s. I want F-18s.
You could probably buy a couple. I'm thinking you could have like a small fleet. Good luck. I mean, you're going to want some fuel for sure. The Large Hadron Collider cost $11 billion.
Oh my God!
Jamaica.
I want to make Earth destroying power.
Yeah. You could. I'm saying Facebook could have built a black hole machine, but instead they bought WhatsApp.
Does that tell you something about what the fuck is the matter with this place that we
I don't understand.
live?
Like $19 billion.
It's fun.
That's a silly number of money.
It's
like
I tried to explain this to somebody today. They were like, "Well, all those taxes." I was like, "Listen, if you won $4 billion and you only got to take away $1 billion, you would have
yeah.
you would have no clue anybody touched any of your money."
I'll tell you what, I'd be happy to take $1 billion out of 4. If you wouldn't hear me complain, I'd be like, motherfuckers took my other $3 billion.
You wouldn't even know. I mean, as far as the way it affected the way you were going to live from now on.
Yeah, no.
You wouldn't even know. Mm-mm. That's how much money $1 billion is.
Jamaica. $15 billion.
Oh my God.
Gross natural.
That's what I want. I'm buying Jamaica.
I'm surprised Jamaica is worth considerably more than Iceland.
Guess why?
I'm sure you could. The USS Ford aircraft carrier.
What's Jamaica's
$13 billion.
What's Jamaica's GDP?
$15 billion.
Okay. What do you think their most exported product is?
Jamaican goods and services. Duh.
Coffee.
Bobsleds.
Coffee.
Coffee. Yeah, coffee. Coffee's a big one, though. The USS Ford aircraft carrier. So you could buy, I guess, an aircraft carrier, which tells me you could probably buy a bunch of aircraft.
I want F-18s.
Well, I'm saying, here's where you can put them. You still have $6 billion to work with, so I'm pretty sure you can actually get a couple airplanes for that.
I'm going to get this and a couple F-18s, and I definitely want some new podcast equipment, and we're doing Airwreck Radio from the battle cruiser.
From Mars. Gap is the last thing in the Chive list. Gap clothing you could buy for $19 billion.
Oh, you could buy, like, the company, the Gap.
Yeah. Now, I'm saying Facebook did a good thing by not buying the Gap brick-and-mortar stores because...
yeah, that's retarded.
Yeah.
Can I take all this fun that we've been having and just bring it to a screeching halt?
I bet you can.
I will take that $19 billion and put it towards the national debt. Why would you bother? That's like paying
a flash in the pan, dude. Like
that's like paying $10 on your electric bill.
Right. Let me put a 10 spot on it. You'll keep it on then. It is kind of like that.
That's gross.
Oh, it is.
Gross.
It is, but it's less gross than you think it is, but it is gross. It's definitely more than it should be.
I wonder what the GDP of the country is versus our country is.
I don't know.
Versus, we can look it up on that website that I did last week.
Yeah, we could.
Like, I wonder how many American states you could buy for $19 billion.
How many American states?
States. There's got to be at least 2 cheap states.
Oh, you can get Rhode Island.
At least. You can get at least Rhode Island.
For sure. Then you could talk like this and be in, like, you could go visit Havitan.
You'd be your own congressman and senator?
Hell yeah.
Think of the power that you would yield.
Yeah. Congressman, senator? No. My proper title is senator congressman.
My proper title is Prime Minister of the Universe. You may address me as court.
I don't know where to go with that.
You got nothing?
You've painted me into a corner, and I've used up all of my fluff for the first break. I've gone through it all.
I hope that you sit there and writhe in that corner, suffocate and die a slow, painful, lonely death.
Keep talking; it'll happen.
Oh, that was external? That was supposed to be internal monologue.
You can't do internal monologue on a podcast.
You can't?
No.
Damn.
It doesn't work.
I was trying.
Nobody can tell the difference.
Well, that's because they're retarded.
Oh.
No?
I don't think they're retarded.
No,
I think
I'm the one that's retarded.
I think they're incredibly intelligent, good listeners, and I love them, and I love that they have been making use of the donate button. I love that. I love it. airwreckradio.com. We would never ask you to donate, but if you feel like you want to.
I would never ask for your money. But your Bitcoins, however, if you want to give me Bitcoins.
They're not good for anything, folks. Just give them to us.
Just give them to us. You don't need them.
They are worthless. And we know how to dispose of them for you. So, you know.
We absolutely
and we'll
do
do
know
it for,
how to
it's a free service we offer.
free
at
recycling
Airwreck
of
Radio.
Bitcoins. Free recycling of Bitcoins.
We will dispose of them in a humane, green way. Promise.
Promise you that.
Promise. Where do you want to go from here, Corey?
How about to break?
You want to take a break? Well, folks, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/airwreckradio. Give us your like-sees, and while you're there, check out the ROC podcasts and give them a like-sees, too.
What I need you to do, I need to ask them for a special favor.
Ooh, special favors.
Anywhere that you go
Those
to
cost
listen.
extra, Corey.
Well, all right. Anywhere that you listen to us. Anywhere. If you're listening to
At
us
the
on
mall, at the bus stop, at the grocery store, it doesn't matter where. Wherever you
anywhere
are.
you listen to us on the internet, anywhere that you use as a source to find us.
Oh.
Whether it's iTunes, it's Stitcher, or it's Spreaker, ROC Podcasts. Tell people how much you like the show by rating us on those websites.
Or tell people how much the show sucks and rate it then. I don't care.
That's a good point, too.
Whatever.
If you think we're terrible.
You think this shit sucks? Rate it. I wrote a terrible review for us. It was the most fun I ever had. Friends, I encourage you to try to outdo it.
Is that true?
No.
Damn.
You were supposed to wait till we were on break to ask that question, though.
Oh. I think that'd be a little fake.
Well, quick. Let's go to break so they don't know.
Tell us about your band, guys.
Tell us about your band, guys. Tell us about your band, guys. Tell us about your band, guys. Tell us about your band, guys.
Basically, we're all about world domination through folk music. I'm a musician myself. I
Excellent.
used to play drums. My drums got stolen.
We don't have your drums.
That's right, we don't. You better not. Those are not your drums.
These are not the drums you're looking for.
We're recording. Our big thing right now is recording.
So the new album.
Oh yeah, the new album. Okay, so there's a whole concept to it. It's 11 songs.
Yeah.
It might be 12. But it's telling a story, and I won't give away anything. Except there's 3 guys that go to rob the cola factory in town. Nick is from Pratt, great artist. He's gonna help design a comic book to accompany.
Well, that's pretty cool.
album. Right.
The list is just AC/DC right on down to Scorpions, you know. Anything from A to Z, as we call it. Everything in between. Just trying to play all them good step up, make you want to dance music.
Youngbloods is a 5-piece alternative rock outfit based out of New York. Our drummer, Justin Dunn. Actually, the band wasn't even together when he wrote me about playing drums after thinking about it.
Good drummer right there.
Poor kid.
Good drummer is looking for no band.
He was so good. Actually, it's funny because he was the drummer of Machine Gun Kelly.
Will you donate your arm to Airwreck
Donate,
Radio?
just take
and we'll
it.
just turn
Just take it.
your arm microphone tattoo
Just
into
take
an
it.
actual microphone.
Don't ask.
Guys. Tell us about your band, 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 guys.
Listen to Airwreck Radio on airwreckradio.com, rockpodcasts.com, iTunes, and Stitcher.
Thank you. Such an asshole he is. Thank you for listening to Airwreck Radio and holding tight through our little break so that we could use the toilet. The turlet.
Oh, God. Did you wash your hands when you were done?
I washed my hands in the turlet.
Oh, good. Excellent. That's where the best water is.
It's definitely the coldest. Ask the dogs in the house.
All the rest of the faucets run Mountain Dew, so.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. Gatorade. That's how Idiocracy went.
Oh.
Did you see Idiocracy?
No.
Oh, you've never seen Idiocracy?
And I got distracted. You said Mountain Dew. I was diving for a faucet.
It's Gatorade. All the faucets run Gatorade except the toilet, and all the plants are dying. It's the future, and everybody's stupid because only stupid people have kids. Smart people are like, I don't think this is the kind of world I want to raise kids in. So you end up with a bunch of stupid people having more stupid people
Because they're like, putting my dick in stuff feels good.
Exactly, and they get progressively more and more stupid until like the commercials on TV are like, Gatorade, it's got what plants like. So they start watering the plants with Gatorade, and they can't figure out why they're dying.
Orange dye. Plants really like orange dye.
Yeah. It's a good movie. You should check it out.
I will have to check it out.
Do it. Check it out.
Check it out.
Right now. Let's stop the show and watch Idiocracy.
All right. Well, let me pull Netflix up.
No. We don't want to do that. We want to make a podcast.
What's podcasting?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
It just cost me a boatload of money, whatever it is.
No doubt. No doubt.
Where were we going? We were going to do something, and I don't remember what it was.
I was going to talk about the fact that I'm starving.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess
we were gonna talk
I
about
probably could have smoothly got into that subject, but I forgot until you asked. So
You forgot, too.
God diggity damn, Corey, I'm hungry.
Why are you starving, Stace?
I haven't had I had one cooked meal today.
Well, dude, I mean, if you're that broke, I'll loan you a couple bucks. You can get some propane for the
No,
grill.
it's not about being broke, man. See, here's the thing. I joined that gym in the town I work in there, and
I think I see where this is going.
And so in the morning, I go to the gym, and when I leave the gym, like the first day I left the gym, I went and got what I would usually have for breakfast if I made breakfast at home: 2 eggs and toast.
Okay.
With the tip and a cup of coffee, that shit was $6 to sit next to some guy who was talking to himself rudely. Like, this dude was motherfucking nobody. He was crazy.
When you said rudely, I thought you meant like his volume. He was talking to himself loudly, thus being rude.
He was being rude to himself. He's just like muttering.
Complete piece of shit.
Stupid. I'll tell you what's this. And you couldn't understand what exactly he was saying, but it was not a pleasant way to eat your 2 eggs and toast and drink your cup of coffee. Yeah, exactly. So I stopped. I went there one day and was like, yeah, I'm not going there anymore. So I decided that, I can't cook eggs at work. There's no stove or anything like that. So I've been eating fruit for breakfast. Fruit and a bagel.
All right, well, that's...
Like a raw bagel.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, yeah, it's a breakfast. It's not what I'm accustomed to, but it's a breakfast. And I don't want to stop at McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts. Those are my only other 2 choices. Way to undo everything I just did at the gym immediately. Like, that's not what you do.
Yeah,
you don't leave the gym and hit up the drive-thru.
Yeah, it's not usually the best idea.
So I've been eating fruit for breakfast, and then for lunch today I had a salad and another piece of fruit. And
what you're trying to tell me is you're feeling an awful lot like a fucking rabbit.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. I kind of miss...
You're eating what my food eats.
Yeah, exactly. No, I came home and had pork, man, but I'm trying to cut my portion a little bit. Not like massively cut my portion. It's not like I need to eat
like another human being on this planet that's not an American.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. And it was delicious, but it made me realize that I'm fucking hungry. But anyway.
That'll pass. You'll get used to the feeling and it won't bother you so much.
So I started going to the gym, and that means that I started seeing the news in the morning.
Okay.
Which is not something that I'm regularly accustomed to. I never turn a TV on in the morning. I always think I should turn the TV on in the morning, but then it's always like, oh, a Rochester man was killed, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that's not really like news, but it is to that guy's family and stuff, but like, it's life. Sometimes you get killed.
Yeah.
It's
not exactly what you would call headline news.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's not You're right, Corey. It's not exactly what I would call headline news. I would call headline news headline news.
Headline news.
So, while on the treadmill, I saw some shit went down in Ukraine. And because it's a treadmill, I don't know what exactly was going on, but I saw the images. The people are in open, like, really, really hot protest, like fire starting, like a ring of fire around a monument. It's like, it's a goddamn battlefield over there as of Thursday, only there weren't any guns fired. Friday morning, I saw 3 people get shot on TV. Like, not on a TV show, on the news, I saw real people take bullets. I saw 2 people get shot in the knee, and another guy was running. There was another clip, and he was running down a hill, like running towards a hill, and when he got over the crest, he fell down and pulled his shirt up, and he was right in the guts, man. And this was on the news, talking about this stuff in Ukraine, and I had seen that President Obama had said, as long as the government doesn't get the military involved in what should be a civil order, that's going to be the line we're drawing. I was like, lines again? Are we really drumming up the war machine
I don't know. I don't like the word line.
Yeah.
But I do like the stance. If you're flying airplanes or rolling tanks, we got a problem with that.
So
sorry, we have the means to have a problem with that.
An important side note that maybe not everybody, certainly I wasn't aware of exactly until I saw the map. Ukraine is border to Russia.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, it's like if Russia threatened to get involved in Mexico a little bit.
Russia doesn't have the means.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But just the means don't dictate the respect. But
you're right.
I understand that it's the line that the president drew.
I don't like the line. The line is the line's
That's
a problem.
what really did it for me.
I have a flexible plan. That's what I want to hear.
The line he drew is as long as it's not military people, as long as it's the police and not the military. And I'm like, to the people, the next day you see people getting shot, and everybody that's shooting the guns, like there's some protesters shooting the guns too. I mean, there was casualties on both sides. This was a battle.
But I'm sure there's far more people with guns with uniforms.
They were all wearing police uniforms.
I'm not saying they were just
all
uniforms.
All of the government shooters were clearly labeled police. Like, it was, the news made a point of showing police on, or whatever, it starts with a P and ends in Olis, but in Russian or Ukrainian, I guess. But that's not the military. It's clearly, but like, why you got to show me people getting shot? Like, I'm running on a treadmill, fat in America. I don't really need to see images of real-life people getting shot because they're trying to oust their president, who subsequently has been ousted, and there's a warrant for his arrest.
Even though he claims he's still in power somewhere near the border of Russia.
Yeah,
maybe.
About that. Good luck being in power when there's a warrant for your arrest.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And the Speaker of their House is now the acting president.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
You seem to have more details about what's actually going on. I
read that news story.
I saw the civilians getting shot, and like, I was like, why am I seeing civilian people getting shot on TV in the like? This isn't what I signed up to the gym for. Like, not to like.
This is depressing.
Not to displace myself so much, but like, that's Ukraine, and it's wrong. No government should shoot its people. That's not what your people are for. However, America, we have our own backyard. It's a mess. Why don't we clean up our backyard and stop telling other people to worry about, like, a little bit of pan-America, I guess, is what I'm talking about here. Like, stop being like Ukraine, knock it off. Let the other countries do that. They'll do it too. They will.
I get it to a point. I understand your point. And I don't want to be constantly involved in the foreign affairs of other countries. But I really have to say that we have the ability to draw the line at just mass death due to the hands of a military and its own people.
Well, we said no to Syria, who did the same thing only with chemical weapons.
But the proof wasn't necessarily there. I mean, there was dispute there as far as what had happened.
Also, I would say that just because we have the means, and you're right, we do have the means.
And we also said, we didn't necessarily attack, but we said if you if it pushed any further, they didn't push it any further because we would have acted if something more had happened.
And that shit, like, listen, I want my opinion changed as the news went on because daily this situation evolved into something. I mean, it was really fast. Like Thursday, there was violence and like a big goddamn firestorm in the city. Friday, there was a gunfight. By Saturday, the president was out.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it progressed so fast that it's really nitpicky to say, you know,
everything should
America,
happen without.
But you're probably right. That threat by the American president was probably
precautionary,
better designed than I give it credit for. But I didn't like seeing it on the news at all.
All right, and I
did
get that
not
emotion.
like that line business again. Don't start.
It's a terrible word with the line.
Put
Stop.
the war drums away.
I have a plan, a flexible plan that we can apply to the situation that we can edit and move along with as time needs us to.
Yeah. Not draw lines. Don't
lines are very
Knock
solid. We don't need the very static line.
When you draw a line, you put your back up to a wall. That's what you do. That's what that is. You put a wall behind your back when you draw a line.
But I'm all for like the no-fly zone.
Oh, sanctions and things like that, for sure. Absolutely.
You're not gonna launch aircraft against your own people.
Absolutely.
We're gonna put fighters in the area that are gonna be able to scramble there in no set time at all. And go ahead, and I don't care what kind of aircraft you have, Ukraine. Go ahead and take on our fighters. That'll make short order.
I don't know what kind of aircraft they have.
It doesn't matter.
They're flying a couple of old Mustangs and shit.
They can have the same airplanes. They don't have the same training and capability. They also have 4. We have 1,000.
Yeah.
Available. The other ones are busy. Sorry, go on.
The whole situation, I think, was probably better managed than I give it credit for. But I had a very visceral reaction to Thursday's news and then Friday seeing the people getting like shot by their police. Like, don't shoot your people. Don't shoot your people. They're not for shooting.
But that's a very American sentiment.
That's not actually.
It is because we have the luxury of living that life. In my opinion, I guess I'll put a little tail on the end of that with the. In my opinion,
it's not. Intrinsic value is not an American idea. It's actually a Christian idea. But you're right. It certainly is less well perceived in other countries. There are places where you don't have the same intrinsic value, just socially.
I think my point was that it's more perceived here. Not so much that it's less perceived.
The news
there.
certainly knows how to make us feel that way.
I think me and you feel that our lives are more important than gunfire. And if we wanted to take to the streets and protest, we should be allowed to. But that's because that's the life. I'm not saying just because, but maybe a symptom of that, or maybe that's a symptom of the fact that we live a life where we could take to the streets without having to worry about them shooting us.
Well, the other side of this coin is these protesters were armed. I mean, it's not.
Well, that's true.
It's not like it's not like the what was that the massacre in Japan or China? I'm sorry, the.
Tiananmen Square?
Thank you. It's not like that. These people were armed as well, and they were firing too. It's, who fired the first shot? I don't know.
I probably wasn't the tanks, but I know who fired the last one.
It was Han Solo.
It was Blaster.
It was Han Solo. So that was that. You feel like we've gotten what we're getting out of that one? Do you? I do. Did you have more?
Only if you're not planning on getting lice out of it.
I don't want lice.
You don't want lice?
I don't want lice.
Then don't take any pictures with teenage girls.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that so that me and the listeners could hear you?
Don't take any pictures with any teenage girls.
Well, it wasn't really in my creep plans this weekend, so no problem. Next story? No?
According to lice experts located in Scotts Valley, Marcy McQuillan, lice is usually found in elementary-aged children. This year, reports McQuillan, there's been a huge increase of lice in cases of teens.
Bum, bum, bum. So
typically, smaller children are more likely to
usually
lice
your
because they're in contact with each other.
Your third grader is about the average, I think, life. That's when lice happens.
Yeah, well, because they're in contact with each other without anything to hygiene.
Yeah,
they're constantly touching each other and spitting and trading hats and
right. And it only takes one person having lice for the entire
classroom
class to have
Yeah.
lice, and you probably won't know it until it's too late.
Well, now that all the teenage girls shuffle in together to get inside of the frame of one smartphone at arm's length away,
taking a selfie
with
your BFF.
Now their little bugs are jumping from head to head.
That's your bug buddy forever.
Ooh, yeah. That's fun, isn't it?
That's actually just your BBF. I did that wrong. That's your bug friend forever, your BFF.
Yes.
There it is.
That's your buggy friend forever.
Yes.
BFF.
We share lice together.
That's a little yummy little headline I had for you.
What?
That lice thing. I thought that was yum.
Oh.
Well, no?
What, were you done there?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Oh. Friends, don't take pictures with teenage girls. Firstly, most people will think you're creepy for doing that. Secondly, teenage girls have cooties and lice.
I'm glad that you found a way to attack that joke without being completely disgusting, because I looked at that joke maybe 7 different ways, and all of them involved me getting in trouble on my own podcast.
You want disgusting, buddy. I have a disgusting story for you.
Look at this master of the segue.
This is from Wham 13 NBC ABC, not NBC, ABC.
13.
This is out of Herkimer, New York, by the Associated Press. Police say 2 men have been arrested after a central New York farmer discovered that his cows were being sexually abused.
Okay.
Sidebar, what constitutes sexual abuse of a cow?
And what evidence did he acquire to realize that the cow was being sexually abused?
Well, news outlets reported Friday that a farmer in Herkimer near Utica noticed his cows appeared anxious and failed to produce milk. He installed video surveillance equipment to try to determine why. The farmer contacted state police after watching the footage and discovering the animals were being abused. How do you sit down with some popcorn and watch your, why are my cows nervous footage? Like, you're just sitting there eating the popcorn. You're like, oh, my God. What are these? Oh, my God, Bessie.
I bet you it's not as shocking a realization as we think it is. I bet you it happens more than you think.
You think he
and the
looked at
farmer was like, these goddamn always fucking my cows.
He looked at his buddy. He was like, I told you them Smith boys was fucking my cows. I told you that's what I seen shook up cows before, and I know the reason why. Police said,
and now I got the proof.
Police said 2 men in their 30s. Corey, this could have been us. Especially
No, it couldn't have. No, it couldn't have.
No, probably not.
No, it couldn't have.
Police said 2 men in their 30s were arrested after one agreed to videotape the other attempting sexual contact with several cows.
Well, I want you to understand that the cows are probably not willing, and they weigh over a ton.
Yeah.
So if it's not willing and weighs over a ton,
yo, man,
there's probably a lot of attempting involved.
You gotta sue the cow. You can't just jump in there.
You gotta romance it.
I know it looks inviting and shit, but it's they need a little talking, man. A little.
You gotta romance, a little Barry White,
little bovine foreplay, man.
You bring a little lavender so you can relax the room.
Yeah.
A little lighting.
Now you're talking. A little Barry White.
Yeah, buddy.
His album, Bovine Foreplay, I think was a top seller.
You rub real smooth across the ears
in Herkimer, New York.
Then you look into those big black empty eyes.
One man didn't
I'm
immediately...
gonna fuck you, baby. I'm gonna fuck you so good.
Let's make some yogurt. Ugh. Gross. One man didn't immediately return a phone message left Saturday. At
You think?
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, fuck that cow. I'll fuck it again. Who's this?
You come over here, I'll fuck you too.
Police said the other man has no known address, so a vagabond of some sort. Both were arrested on misdemeanor sexual misconduct charges and released with appearance tickets.
What? Released?
Well,
they got the same charge as potheads?
I mean, they're cow rapists. They're not like people rapists.
But who knows what else they've raped?
Oh.
Maybe basset hounds,
horses,
chickens.
Chicken fucker.
I'm sure one of them tried to fuck a snake.
You a chicken fucker?
What did you call me, boy?
Nobody calls me chicken fucker. Biff. So I liked that story. I thought that was a good one. Corey?
Well, since we're on an up note, I'd like to bring us down just a little bit. Mysterious polio-like illness reported in some children. That's right, folks. Polio rears its ugly head.
Wait. Now,
What?
that's mean.
I know.
You don't have to call polio ugly.
And maybe that was a little bit rude of me.
Like,
But either
polio
way,
has feelings too, Corey.
it does have feelings, but it can still go fuck itself because
Sure
it's a
can.
dirty bitch.
Right, or it could fuck you or your kids. It's a mean bastard, that polio. I thought we had polio licked.
We do have polio licked.
What the fuck?
A small number of children in California. Where?
California.
Not the Sudan.
No.
Not Brazil.
No.
No.
A pretty wealthy state, actually,
Yeah,
California is.
California.
Mhm.
Have come down with a polio-like illness since 2012, suffering paralysis in one or more limbs and many other symptoms.
Didn't Forrest Gump have polio?
I think that's what. I don't
Didn't Theodore Roosevelt have polio?
want to talk
Wow.
Forrest Gump.
We are bringing this back
Yes.
right the hell around.
Roosevelt did have polio. For
Wow.
damn sure. That's exactly, yes. And physicians and public health officials don't know why.
Don't Know Why is a terrific podcast that you can check out on the ROC Podcast Network. I recommend that you check it out. It's hosted by Vinny Paulino.
And Mike Berry.
Great podcast.
Both local funny men.
I'm sorry. You said it.
No, it was
like it
perfect.
was. I didn't mean to do it, but I did mean it wasn't. It's not like it was an accident.
The afflicted children suffer severe weakness or paralysis, which strikes rapidly, sometimes after a mild respiratory illness. Scans of the patient's spinal cords show patterns of damage similar to that found in polio sufferers. 2 of the afflicted children tested positive for antiretrovirus 68.
Whoa.
A virus that is usually associated with respiratory illness, but which has been linked to the polio-like illness as well.
Yeah, if they had one more, it'd be the NT virus 69.
Quote, "We know definitely that it is not polio." End quote.
But it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck.
That's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah. But we know this shit ain't a duck. We know it's not a duck.
The ducks are dead. There's no more
Yeah,
ducks.
There's no ducks left.
So it's like a duck, but it's not a fucking duck.
It's a super duck.
So this is fun. This is a little bit of fun nature for you. I think this is fun, like on the natural aspect of things.
I guess fun is not a word I would apply if this was my daughter, but whatever. One man's terrible tragedy, I guess, is another man's fun.
enjoyment. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
In a country with such vast medical resources, so vast that the life expectancy is doubled in the last 100 years, to the point where we were talking this on the break, that life expectancy for our generations and them slightly below us are well into their hundreds.
Yeah.
Because of the advances in both modern technology, or all of modern technology, modern medical treatments, and hygiene. Also preventative care, like immunizations that get rid of things like polio.
That shit's voodoo.
It causes autism. Didn't you know that?
Sometimes it does, man. That's a
I
respectable-
wouldn't argue.
If your kid was the one that got autism, you'd be pissed.
I don't want to say that it
And
causes,
then you would be an anti-vaxxer, too.
I don't want to say that it causes autism. But if your argument was to me, we have too many, I would say, well, the drug corporations have been known to push their own agenda before.
Yeah, like, you ever heard of fluoride?
And if you told me that we do it too young, that we could wait and immunize people a little bit older when they're a little more developed, I would be like, well, okay.
Scientists would make very compelling arguments the other way, though. They would say, no, there's no such thing as too young. If we could do this all in utero, we would, and it'd be great.
Unless it is causing side effects because they're so young they can't handle them.
Right. Yeah.
Unless if that's the case, then maybe we could kick it a little bit older.
Yeah.
Without, a little bit.
So do we have a nice antivirus for this?
Yeah, no. This is this
faux polio.
What we're watching is a virus a new virus in its birthing stage. It's just starting to come around to be a noticeable problem.
I want to do something that news organizations never do when they're talking about things like this. I'm going to run out with a fire extinguisher real quick and just be like, folks, just so you know, there's like 1 billion new viruses every single day.
Every single day.
And even the ones that afflict a lot of people probably aren't going to kill you. Continue.
See, that one we heard.
Is my mic still on?
Yes.
Okay.
But this one, which is one that probably developed a while ago, is starting to gain a foothold to the point where we're noticing it. But it'll be fun to watch this evolve, because in a nation that in a time period where we're going to actively fight it from step one. We spotted it early, and we're going to fight it from step one. It'll be interesting to me to see how either quickly we domineer this fatal thing, as we usually do.
What Congress needs to do is enact a war on faux polio.
Faux polio.
That's what we need to do.
And we have our new show title.
That's what I was writing down just now. Because they like to declare war on stuff like poverty, which is like dumb because you don't really use your war powers to fight poverty. And then they have a war on drugs, but you really don't use soldiers for that. And that's like what a war is with soldiers. So it's kind of a misnomer there, too.
And you're fighting against your own citizens.
And
this war on drugs, you're fighting against your own citizens.
Yeah, and the war on terror. Terror is an idea. You can't really shoot it. So, we should definitely declare a war on faux polio.
Faux polio, absolutely. Well, faux polio is I want to take bets. That'll be our standing game. We'll have a game we can do. That'll be it. Whether faux polio or any new disease takes root, or we squash that shit out in a quickness.
This sounds like a game I don't have the attention span for.
Maybe 20 years from now, we licked faux polio. Who had 20 years?
We're going to take squares. 20 years squares. That's a great...
Mother, we forgot about faux polio. We've been worried about faux herpes for the last
shit. So, did you hear the one about the Girl Scout selling the Girl Scout cookies outside of the medical marijuana dispensary in Colorado?
Not only did I hear about it, I'm the one who told you about it.
Well, would you tell me about it then?
Reporting from the Huffington Post about 3 days ago.
HuffPost is really quite the news service.
It's great for our show, I tell you that much.
Yeah.
And perhaps the greatest display of entrepreneurial spirit in modern history. Entrepreneurial.
Oh, thank you for ruining my ears. I appreciate that.
In modern history,
You
California.
just made my eardrum gag.
A California Girl Scout has been selling cookies outside of a San Francisco marijuana dispensary.
Danielle Lee,
age 13, set up shop in front of the Green Cross on Monday, selling a whopping 117 boxes.
Was that the name of the place, the Green Cross?
The Green Cross.
The green plus, like the first
The medical
aid side
symbol,
with green,
yeah.
is that like that's like a
That's the dispensary symbol.
like officially,
I think so. Yeah, I
or
think they
at least like they all have that, right?
I think they have to. I think that's part of this.
But this place is called the Green Cross.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. According to Mashable, she sold 117 boxes in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's about a box per minute.
How much? What is that? What is it? It's like
It's $3.50 a box.
that's pretty good Girl Scout cookery right there, man.
That's pretty much what my daughter did in total.
Right.
117 boxes.
Yeah, this girl banged that out in 2 hours.
Pretty much.
Very inspiring.
The Green Cross told the Huffington Post that Lee's mother contacted the dispensary beforehand to ask permission to set up a table outside. The owners welcomed the girl with open arms and reportedly bought several boxes. Jeez, what a surprise!
Hey, man.
Fucking great idea, dude!
Hey, are those Girl Scout cookies, man? Because,
do you know how much I love peanut butter?
I like some Thin Mints, man, and my mouth is kind of dry.
Do you know how much I love peanut butter? I love peanut butter so much, dude.
Yeah.
I love peanut butter as much as this girl right here, man.
I like peanut butter just enough to mumble away from a microphone.
But apparently the move raised a few eyebrows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Medical marijuana is legal in California, but users must be over 18.
Yes.
And apparently the fact that she was 13 and selling to people.
A speaker for the Girl Scouts, if I could step in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rochelle Trujillo.
That's what I had.
I don't know.
I rewrote it as a representative from the Girl Scouts.
Trujillo. She's got way too many vowel sounds. Like, she seems to have a Hispanic name of some sort, and it is Trujillo. There is not a hard consonant to be found in the last two syllables of that word. It's a very difficult one to pronounce.
That's why I rewrote it to a representative for the Girl Scouts said.
Chief Marketing Officer for the Girl Scouts of Colorado actually said, for years in our council, we've said it's not appropriate for Girl Scouts to sell cookies outside of adult-oriented businesses, and marijuana dispensaries fall right in line with this policy. Now, I got to say, right on, sister. That's a good policy. I don't want her selling it outside of a cigarette store either.
The National Council of Girl Scouts representatives say that the decision as to where to sell the cookies is ultimately up to the parents of the children.
You're right. I see that on the story. I have, too. Gary Garcia of Denver wrote on the Facebook, this decision, however, enables our organization to stay out of the political spotlight and instead continue to have the Girl Scouts leaders and children focus on learning to be self-sufficient and successful women.
I think this young lady just did that.
I think
she found a niche and she filled it like any good entrepreneur.
The Boy Scouts could take a lesson in PR.
Oh, absolutely.
From the Girl Scouts right now, because like I'm with you on this one that, you know, the girl should be able to sell them outside of a
She's a friggin' genius. She should be
dispensary.
rewarded for efforts, not punished.
But the adult-oriented thing that's a very relevant argument. I wouldn't want her selling them outside of a liquor store necessarily. I don't think I'd want her selling them outside of a tobacco store or a porn shop.
But it is up to. But that's because you're a responsible parent.
It is up to
her parents,
and also the.
If you don't stop hitting the bottom of that mic,
you know it's not going to happen. Listeners, I'm sorry for the hard noises there. That was all me, and I'd apologize it. I'm sorry. I would apologize for it if I ever did anything wrong. That was on purpose for comedic value.
Making note to myself, Stacy said hard, and it's all me in one sentence.
Whoa. Oh, you're going to isolate that
I'm
out
sure I
and
can make
auto-tune
something
it?
out of that.
So the Girl Scouts, however, did do a masterful job of spinning this to say what they meant to say without sounding like a bunch of bigots, something that the Boy Scouts have not managed to do about an issue in quite a long time. They always manage to come out sounding like bigots.
Yeah, they always
They
every
do.
time.
They just every single time. And their arguments are I wouldn't even say that their arguments are completely unvalid, like the gay leaders. You have a possibly valid argument, but I think we need to recognize that, like, Alexander the Great was a little gay. Man took over, like, most of Europe, like the entire known world at the time.
And had a lot of sex doing it.
By the time he was 32, and he was fucking everybody. So, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe good leaders,
even some cows and some chickens.
maybe great leaders can be, gay or bisexual or whatever they want to be. Maybe. Boy Scouts are welcome to have their opinion. They could do to argue it a little bit better, like the Girl Scouts do.
One last footnote on the Girl Scout thing. Girl Scouts sometimes award cadet marketing badges to scouts who successfully create a business campaign.
This little bitch better get one of them. That's all I'm saying. And I said that, I meant that with the most respect I could possibly.
This little bitch has got shit figured out. Good for her.
I actually meant it with more respect than I could possibly have used with those words.
Do you want to know what the worst part is? I was right with you. I was like, yeah, that little bitch.
Yeah. Get her. Do you want to know what the best part is? Kepler's fixed.
The space telescope that we bored our Puerto Rican friends with?
Yes. Kepler, the wayward little satellite that had a busted control
Telescope.
wheel. Yeah, I'm sorry, telescope. Space telescope camera thingy had a busted control wheel. It takes a long-term look at one particular spot in space. And to stay still for as long as it has to stay still, it's got these wheels. It's got 5 of them. Without one, it could work, and it lost that one. Without 2, it couldn't work. It lost both of them. Was non-functional.
Spinning out of control.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's more violent than what was actually going. Spinning too fast to take the kind of images that it needs to take.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much out of control for its design function.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. It was not in control.
It was no longer functioning.
These smart bastards at NASA, Corey, do you know what they've done?
I do know what they've done, but only because you already told me.
They have balanced this device on solar rays so that the solar radiation, the solar wind, keeps it in position somewhat the way you would keep a ping pong ball hovering over a hairdryer. Only the ping pong ball is the size of a grain of sand, and the hairdryer is pushing in a vacuum.
They're mooring themselves against the wind, like a sailboat would.
Yeah, only like
to keep a straight line.
The wind is super teeny tiny. Like super teeny tiny. Like you don't even, I can't even communicate to you how thin the solar wind resistance is, but they've done it. They've got this awesome,
and how wildly it fluctuates.
Little space telescope is just balanced on it. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not going to be able to do the kind of studies that it was doing, but it will be able to continue to collect data in a useful way. And I just think that's fucking dope.
We should do the final follow-up on Kepler. We should call Dr. Tom, because that was one of the primary telescopes that he used.
Oh, you're
in
correct.
his studies.
Yeah, we should call him and talk to him about
Kepler. Being
about
broken.
Kepler.
Absolutely. I think that'd be a good idea for next week, maybe.
Word.
Sweet.
So
see what kind of things that happen when you listen.
So, folks, maybe next week we're going to have a fake, real, soon to be real, but currently not a doctor, Dr. Tom. Doctor of astrophysics.
We could have just went Dr. Tom. Yeah, observational astrophysics.
Observational astrophysics.
Yeah.
That's correct.
We could have just went Dr. Tom of observational astrophysics, not a real doctor. That would have went much smoother.
Until then, this has... Oh, no, it hasn't been headline news. You had one more.
I have one more.
I was about to close us out, Corey. What? Come on.
Oh, no, I have one for you because you were going to read a book and then let me borrow it, and then you lost the fucking book.
Oh, I found the book. You can borrow it.
Oh, sweet. Can I borrow it?
Yeah.
Are you done with the book?
Yeah.
Sweet. I want to borrow it.
The book is the Evangelii Gaudium by Pope Francis the Awesomest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever the numbers are. I don't know.
Pope Franny.
Yeah. The dope Pope.
The dope Pope, Pope Franny.
Yeah. The Pope of Hope. The dopest Pope.
A new department at the Vatican has been created by Pope Francis to oversee its finances.
The Department of Awesome.
Following scandals at the institution. I like how they called the Vatican an institution.
It is an institution.
It is more than an institution.
Well, it is more than an institution.
The new ministry would study the organizational and economic problems of the Holy See, said the Vatican.
The Holy See?
The, quote, organizational and economic problems of the Holy See, S-E-E, end quote.
Huh. I don't know what that is.
I think everything within the Vatican's power, the Holy See, everything the Holy can see, is my interpretation of
All
it,
right.
personally. In January, Italian police reported a senior Italian cleric was charged with laundering millions through the Vatican Bank.
Yucky. You don't want to be doing that shit on Pope Francis's watch, dude. He is from poverty places.
Yes,
man.
he's all about the
doesn't
poor.
want your fucking laundering money at all.
He barely wants you to have any of that money. Jesus was a poor man. Monsignor Nunzio Scarano allegedly planned to smuggle 20 million euros into Italy.
That's a lot of euros.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not enough to buy WhatsApp, but it's still a lot.
That's like 30 million bucks.
Yeah.
American.
That's not 19 billion.
No, certainly isn't. Now Australian Cardinal George Pell will lead the new department.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The other guy had a better cardinal name. Monsignor Nunzio Scarano.
I like George Pell. It sounds like a comedian. I was just about to announce him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you.
That's okay.
You can still do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
Welcome
Too
to
late.
the stage.
The moment has passed.
All right.
So what are they going to do, Corey? What is it, George Pell?
George Pell.
What's old Georgie boy going to do?
He's going to put the smack down on anybody who's acting wrong on doing sins on the Vatican money supply.
Don't be dropping God's dime irresponsibly, you cardinals.
Pretty much, I'm pretty sure all he's going to do is balance a freaking checkbook.
It's a big-ass checkbook.
That's a big checkbook. I mean, he needs a big marker for it.
Yeah.
Big Sharpie, Magnum. But I'm pretty sure he's just going to balance a checkbook ethically. I think that's pretty much what his job's going to be.
I really, really like the talk of ethics coming out of the Pope these days concerning free markets, because
real ethics.
Free markets are good, but they cannot be your ethical system. It just doesn't work that way. We all turn into a bunch of fucking cavemen again.
He talks a lot about ethics, not necessarily religious ethics.
No, just ethics. Yeah.
Yeah.
He teaches
being a human being.
He
very Dalai Lama, Gandhi,
very Jesus Christ,
very Jesus Christ, very Buddha, very pacifist savior.
Buddha sucked. I'm sorry, Buddha sucked. Want nothing, eat me. Fucking poser. You didn't want nothing. This is bullshit.
It's not a matter of want nothing. Is it necessarily not a desire to achieve as it is not to need something to exist, not to value yourself inside of that thing that you want.
Buddha was full of shit.
It was a lot of riddle. It's a lot of riddle. Your value is not inside of the thing that you want.
You know who else I wish
just a thing that you want.
Had worded their message just a little bit differently?
What?
Muhammad.
Yeah, me too.
Muhammad, you had a great message right up until the thing about the kill the infidels. That really kind of loses me.
And the 72 versions in heaven for
That's
those,
actually that's not entirely accurate.
Maybe it's up to translational debate.
It's not actually in the Quran the way that the American press gives it to you, but the way that the afterlife sounds horrific. They make it sound sweet.
And there's a fair amount of translational debate as to what it says.
There's a fair amount of bullshit in the news too, and
yeah. We also listen to the English translation of the Bible for the Christians. Also, some translation debate there.
I just bought an audiobook of the Bible.
You bought an audio version of the Bible?
Oh, well, I didn't buy it. I used my free
Your free Audible?
my free Audible thing.
Who'd you use? Whose code did you use?
I think I used Joe Rogan's. So that's for anybody who wants to try to use Audible. This is a free code that you can use. Enter the code Joe, I think it is. I think it's Joe. Yeah. At Audible, and you'll get one free download when you sign up for your 30-day free month trial or 30-day free trial of Audible services.
And I know it's kind of a sidebar. Can I give my suggestion?
This is the worst plug ever.
Can I
but
give my
luckily,
suggestion?
they're not paying us. Yes.
Use Hardcore Histories.
Well, I don't know that one. What is it?
It's Hardcore History.
I thought it was like whatever. Anyway, you can find codes to get you a free download. You can get. You're right. That's a good point. You can find codes to get you a free download, and I used my free download to get the Bible. Now, this isn't the first audiobook I've gotten on Audible. It's not like I ran to Audible to get the Bible, and I haven't even started it yet. It is 199 hours.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Man.
And if you wanted a book to stop and restart a section, you found it. Just to get through some of the language, you got to read it, listen to it
That's
3-4 times.
And it's got like 10 actors, and some of them are like recognizable names in acting. Like it was $30 with the Audible subscription. So this is like a $70 book, but I got it with my free credit. I haven't started it. I'm going to listen to it. I've never read through the whole Bible. Like
You haven't? I read it.
I've picked it up. I mean, it's not the kind of thing that I can read. Like,
the language is tough.
the language. I get lost in the language. But if I hear it, I can hear language a lot easier than I can listen to it. And I'm really looking forward to getting through the Bible because there's a lot of history tied up in the Bible. There's a lot of history in the Bible, and a lot of history is about the Bible. So I'm eager to get that.
There's more. It's pretty on the contrary too. There's more history about the Bible than there is in the Bible, but that's because the Bible's been so pertinent a thing for so much longer than the events leading up to the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Than the events resulting from the Bible. I think you mean.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I think that's what I don't know.
The things that happened because of this book
are so much more impacting
Yeah.
than the things that happen that are in the book.
Yeah, that's
because
yeah.
of the sheer. Even if you take out the sheer time frame, just because of what happened after the book, it's amazing the history that was a result of the book.
Interesting thing about the book, a story.
Whatever its origins
I
might
did it
be,
again.
you keep doing it.
Sorry, folks.
We will solve this.
You're familiar with the story of the Tower of Babel?
Sort of.
The people of Babylonia in the this is the biblical story. The people of Babylonia built a tower to reach the gods, to stand on level with the gods, and God's punishment for this was that all the people that went to that tower were given different languages and they couldn't speak to each other. This is where the origin of the word Babel comes from. When you're speaking nonsense, it's Babel. All the people that were at the Tower of Babel couldn't speak to each other because they all spoke different languages. The historical Babylonia, they built huge structures to look at the stars and the sun and the moon, and they wanted to be a little closer so that they could look a little better. And that's what the towers of Babel were. They were to look at the heavens.
To observe the gods.
The factual thing is that they were there to look at the heavens, and the biblical story is they were trying to build a stairway to heaven and were smitten by having to suffer from several different languages. So they couldn't communicate to each other.
Smited.
Yeah, you're right. Smited. Smitten is different.
Yeah.
It's entirely different.
Smitten is having a crush on
somebody. Good point. Good point.
Smited. It ringed in my head. That can't be right. But that's the end of me.
I had one more story that wasn't really headline news, but we kind of moved into the Audible thing.
All right.
But this is the last thing I have for the show.
Give it to me.
Okay. So I also downloaded, and I recommend that everybody everywhere read this book, buy it, and listen to it on Audible. I don't care how you get this book into your head. A Little History of the World by E.H. Gombrich. I'm listening to it on Audible. It is awesome.
Yeah, I told you to send me the link, and you never did.
I'm sorry.
Because you're fucked.
It's a history of the world as told by a guy from Germany. So you get a lot of European. When it comes time to where the world history is, there's like an America's going on. You're going to hear about what was going on in Europe instead of what was going on in America. Like you're not going to get the. You'll hear about Columbus went to America because obviously you can't glance over the New World, and you're going to hear about the American Revolution, but you're not going to hear about slavery in America. You're not going to hear about. It's a lot of European history, but it's also an ancient world history, and it is captivating. I love it.
It was like the Sochi opening Olympics ceremony with no mention of Stalin. Just 30 years of their history was left out in the opening ceremony.
Well, you
that didn't happen.
That's called redacting, and it's a recognized thing that you can do. So, one awesome story that I got from this that I'd like to give you now. This is a story. We've all seen the 300. I think if we haven't seen it, we're all familiar with the movie. We know what it's about. This is Sparta, kick you in a hole. That kind of macho shit about Spartans and Athenians and such. So here's a story that I pulled out of this that I thought was really interesting. In 490 BC, the Persian king Darius, the king of kings, sent an army of 70,000 Persians to Athens to punish the Athenians for their refusal.
Refusable. Get 10% off refusable.com.
For their refusal to give tribute. The Persian king was a mighty, mighty king. He had a lot of land, and he said that Athens was part of his land, and the Athenians were like, nah, dog, this shit ain't your shit.
My king is a mighty, mighty, mighty fine king.
The army of Persians of 70,000 strong landed nearby Athens in a place called Marathon. 10,000 Athenians met the 70,000 Persians and beat them back to the sea. The Athenian general... oh, man, I knew how to say this when I wrote it down.
That guy.
Miltiades, we'll call him. Miltiades? I don't know. The Athenian general saw the retreating Persian army, having returned to their ships, did not go back the way they had come, but rather went towards Athens, which was now undefended because there were 10,000 Athenian soldiers at Marathon. Good news is, it's a shorter distance to get to Athens from Marathon by foot than it is by boat, because by boat you have to
circumnavigate the nation.
Exactly. So the Athenian general sent a runner, and the runner ran all the way to Athens with such haste that he got to Athens, gave the message to the wall guards, and dropped dead. This run is where we get the word marathon from. Happened from Marathon to Athens. Guy ran so far, so fast, so hard, he died after he gave his message.
Another Airwreck Radio fun fact.
Oh, it goes on.
All right.
The Athenian army chased after this runner. Like, they came as hard as an army can come. And they got to the port of Athens just in time to see the Persian fleet become visible over the horizon. Upon seeing the Athenian army ready to defend the harbor, the Persian army turned about and set sail back for Persia. This would lead to the events 10 years later that were depicted in the movie The 300. That took place in 480 BC when the Persians would come again, this time at the behest of dead King Darius' son Xerxes. you'll recall Xerxes is a bastard in the movie The 300. Soon there'll be a 302, and I'm really excited about that, but I wish that they would have made a prequel that had to do with the story of Marathon. I really think there's a story there that should be a movie.
302.
That's what I'm saying, too. Like, you can't really have a sequel. It's got to be like Thermopylae. Or like, it can't be the 302 because the 300 are dead.
So what's your movie? What's your movie? Is the movie The Battle? Is the movie The Run?
It's perfect. It's King Darius, the mighty King Darius, the king of kings, the Persian king with all his might and all his power and his 70,000 soldiers attack Athens. Athens defends with 10,000 soldiers, beats them back to the sea.
Marathon.
I'm sorry. No, Athens. These were Athenian soldiers that were dispatched to Marathon, where they beat back the landing of the Persian army. The Persian army was going to land in Marathon and then march on Athens. So the Athenian defenders were at Marathon to stop them from landing. Did that, and then hauled ass to Athens to stop the Persians who were like, fuck this, let's just go and have a sea war. Then the Persians get there, and they're like, is that 10,000 other guys, or is that the same 10,000 guys? And then his homie was like, it doesn't really matter, does it? If they just did all that and kicked our ass, they're only going to kick our ass again here. Let's beat it.
Like, I mean, I get the story, but, like, what's the movie? Is your focus, like, opening scene, the boat's coming over the horizon, and you see the great king and his 70,000 men
No.
landing at Marathon to fight the battle?
You get a little bit of there's some political intrigue that goes on here. You know, the King Darius, he sends an envoy to the Athenians, and he's like, "Yo, give me some of your loot, bitches. I got 70,000 men ready to fall on you." And they're like, "Bitch, we got 10,000 Athenians gonna kick your Persian ass." So they send the envoy back, and the envoy has to go back and tell this guy this, and he's like, "They said my what ass? That's racist." So he sends 70,000 Persians. I don't know. I just think it looked great, like with big computer effects and boats and gray skies, and picture it like the 300, only the prequel to the 300, which it actually is.
What's the meat of the story? Is it the solo runner?
Sure, yeah, that's a feel-good moment until he drops dead. But I mean, he made it, yeah.
And then you get into the giant battle.
I don't know, Corey, man, you write it. I don't know. It's history. This is a little slice of it. I'm sure there's more details.
I thought you had an idea. I was asking.
There's more details that I don't know. These are the details that were given to me in just one chapter of the Little History of the World by E.H. Gombrich.
All right.
He tells it better than I do, I promise.
All right. Wrap this up.
All right, folks. That has been your fact-packed episode of Airwreck Radio. Please hit us up on Twitter. I am AWR Stace Ghost at Twitter or whatever. I don't know how Twitter works. Corey is C-Pain Run on Twitter. Airwreck Radio also has a Twitter. I'm pretty sure it's like at Airwreck Radio or something like that.
That's the one.
There it is. Check us out on ROC Podcast. Check us out, airwreckradio.com. We love you. Good night.
It's late in the afternoon. The sun rising high. There's nothing to do around here. And if there was, well, I wouldn't try. Taking my comforts, taking good care of me. Sitting down in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Now wouldn't you know it, there goes the phone again. It's probably just another wrong number, but someone trying to sell me something I can't even see. Well, I got the solution. How to deal with this insanity. Just sit down in my easy chair and take a big sip of my sassafras tea. getting near evening, the sun going down. I guess I should shake a leg, climb in my car and roll downtown. Check out the city lights, all decked out in a tux and a tie. But I'm sitting in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Now wouldn't you know it, oh, here come my neighbor Jim. He got the willies and the worries on his mind, and the weight of the world putting pressure on his spine. Well, I got the solution